All right, well, let's cross without further ado for the World Cup final from Brisbane. Phil Clark, Mike Stevenson, but first, it's Eddie Hemmings.
Welcome to Brisbane, the World Cup final between this magnificent Australian side and New Zealand. Australia have never lost a World Cup final, the Kiwis have never won them. It would be the Kangaroos' 7th consecutive World Cup triumph, but the memory of that Tri-Nations final in 2005 hangs like a shadow over this World Cup final. New Zealand won that night 24 points to 0. They won against all the odds, and in 2006, the Tri-Nations final, well, the Australians needed extra time and a golden point to get past this New Zealand team. It's not impossible that the unthinkable could happen. And Australia, despite the ease in which they have made this final, well, they could go home empty-handed. The New Zealanders, though, history beckoning for them, but certainly the Australians, who you might have noticed, I don't know whether you saw the pictures back home, but just before they emerged from the dressing room, the Australians were given a lecture by the captain. Darren Lockyer, winning his 50th cap tonight, stood in front of his players and told them what he and the country expects from them. Well, we'll see what's going to happen over the course of the next 80 minutes. First, though, the national anthems, and first of all, the New Zealand national anthem, sung by Geoff Sewell. Kiwis won 3 in a row to get here. The last time that happened was the World Cup 2000. They won 5 straight to reach the final that year. They were beaten by Australia in 2000. The Aussies stand in front of them again here tonight. And now the Australian national anthem, sung for us now by Rebecca Tapia. on the verge of their 7th consecutive World Cup triumph, their 10th in all. They have never, ever lost a World Cup final. Such expectation is on their shoulders here. And look at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Thankfully, the storms have not hit. It is a warm, balmy evening. It's a little humid, it must be said. But the Australians making 2 changes from the team that reached this final last week. David Williams coming in on the wing for Brent Tate, and in the forwards the luckless Stephen Price, who was injured in the final training session yesterday, replaced by Brent Kite, and Anthony Watmore coming on the bench. Here's the haka. Well, that nearly brought the house down. The Aussies advanced and faced them toe to toe. England turned their backs on them a fortnight ago, got terrible stick. But tonight, the Australians, they have set this place alight, and the gauntlet's thrown.
It certainly is, Eddie, and it has lifted the crowd. You ought to have heard them when they just went up, when they moved forward. They just could not believe it. And they showed the respect in the Australian players. They didn't smile, they didn't grin, they didn't laugh. They gave them the respect that they deserved. But boy, this has just lit the blue touch paper. This is going to be a warm one. Forget about the humidity. It's going to be red hot out there on the field tonight.
I think it is. The Australians won the toss, by the way. They elected to kick off. New Zealand elected to attack from left to right as we watch. World Cup final 2008 is underway. Australia against the Kiwis. First tackle on Adam Blair, and of course the man in the middle is Ashley Klein, and the man in the video referee box is Steve Ganson. There is a massive Super League presence both on and off the field then.
The Australians, of course, they are a little bit concerned that Ashley Klein will not give them plenty of room to move, will not take him back the full 10.
Good on him.
New Zealand, of course, they just want it very tight. They know the only way to win this is to get into an arm wrestle. They've got to try to suck the Kangaroos into one big forward battle.
But it's important that the Kiwis start well. They know that. They're on halfway here at the final tackle, the opening set of 6. And the diagonal kick is not the best. It is picked up over on that far side by Williams, who gets the ball away to the best player in the world, Billy Slater. He is pounded down on that far side by Benji Marshall. Now, in the papers here this week, the talk has been of a bash Benji campaign by Australia. They fear the standoff for New Zealand. This is Pedro Sivanasiva. Third tackle gone, the Aussies opening set of 6.
When you talk about putting the hit on Benji Marshall, the Kiwis want to do exactly the same to Darren Lockyer. They know he's the linchpin. He's the man that steers them around the field.
Thurston under pressure, gets the kick away, it drifts beyond Lance O'Hire, and it will run dead in goal. Not the best start from the kicking boots of Jonathan Thurston.
But that's primarily because of the pressure they was put under. If you look back at the first World Cup game between these two, the biggest difference was the pressure that Australia applied to the New Zealand player when he was trying to kick the ball. It was the reason why there was such a discrepancy in the kicking games. Australia have been good at it, and New Zealand have learnt the first lesson.
We talked in the build-up about the International Player of the Year awards night here on Monday. New Zealand absolutely livid, I can tell you, at the way that they were virtually ignored on the night. All right, Manu Vatuvei got the vote as Winger of the Year, but Stephen Kearney, the New Zealand coach, and legendary figure Ruben Wiki not involved in the proceedings on the stage, and that left a very bitter taste in the mouths of the Kiwis. I must say, and they are determined tonight, Steve-O, to put the record straight.
Yeah, it's only build them up. Stephen Kearney would have utilised that. That's a good work from Marshall.
Great ball, he finds the big fellow, Manu Vatuvei, the beast, and he's hunted down by the man they called the Wolfman, David Williams.
Well, of course, Vatuvei, Eddie, was utilised as an extra forward
Towering
in the win
kick.
against England. That's a huge kick.
Towering kick, but Monaghan underneath it perfectly. And here comes the counter-attack from Joe Monaghan.
Wonderful run by the winger. Good work by Ashley Klein there. He called out 4 Kiwis. You're offside. Leave him alone.
Well, that's a great confident booster for Joe Monaghan. The first high kick, he was tested, and it really did rake up into the night sky. But Monaghan just plucked the ball out of the air very easily. What a run here, though, from Marshall. He is the danger man.
Little doubt about that, and Australia realise it as well. His coach, Stephen Kearney, has requested one of the biggest games of his career tonight.
Deep kick, they were looking for a 40-20 there, Australia. It's picked up by Lance O'Hire. He's been
What a
fullback in
hit
all
there.
of the World Cup matches this year. But a wonderful chase from the Australians.
Was it ever, and a good shoulder charge by Glenn Stewart. The one thing about the Australians, every time they have a kick and chase, there's not just one there, there'll be half a dozen. They're super fit.
New Zealand have built their way into this final. They actually lost narrowly by comparison. They get the first penalty of the World Cup final from the whistle of Ashley Klein. They lost narrowly by comparison first up against these Australians, who then went on the rampage through the rest of the competition.
You know what, they've had a great first 5 minutes of this game, as by the time replays, they've got through the first 3 sets, there've been no errors from them, they've been strong defensively, they've successfully got to the kick, and they'll be very happy that they're almost 5 minutes into the game, the score's still 0-0, and they're controlling the ball when they've got it. The hopes have to be in the centre of the field.
Well, there were players all on the right-hand side of Ashley Klein then, who were 3-4 metres offside when that restart took place.
And I think he's already laying down the gauntlet, isn't he, Ashley Klein? He said that he wants to give him the penalty for the grapple tackle, something that the Australians want to eradicate from the game next year. Klein started it already tonight.
This is Nathan Feen. He gets the ball away to O'Hire. He cuts inside Jonathan Thurston, but the figure of Glenn Stewart was ahead of him, and he's grounded just a metre away from the line. There's Luluai of Wigan. This now, Nathan Feen slides the kick in, and there's a chance here. Opening try, I think. Opening try for Benji Marshall. But it will go to Steve Ganson to decide whether Marshall was onside or offside. That was a blinding kick, and that was a wonderful run from Benji Marshall.
And Eddie, did he get it down? That's the main thing. I think he's onside, just. He's caught them napping, and has he got this down? No, that is no try. No control touchdown there, and Australia are very fortunate. It just bounces up at the wrong moment, and then it hits the fingers, loses control. You can't give that with the elbow. That's got to be a knock-on. This is going to be NOTRY.
Steve Ganson is the video referee, but it will, even if it is chalked off, it will give New Zealand such hope. It will give the New Zealanders such confidence that they have crossed the line first.
Well, we await the decision, and the Australian crowd here.
Here it comes. It's a 20-metre restart for the knock-on. Relief for Australia.
Well, perhaps we've seen the best way New Zealand have of breaking through Australia's defence. Ricky Stewart has built a coaching reputation on being strong defensively. Great run by LaFranchi there. 20 metres and still going. 25, well, will he stop? To break through Australia's defence is tough. The kick's a nice option.
As you say, what a first run. And this now is Thurston, pulled down by David Farlongo. They're bouncing off Paul Gallen at the moment. The Australians setting up deep for a movement behind him, and here is Lockyer. Lockyer to Slater, as a hole for him. He goes wide and finds Monaghan. Monaghan cuts inside, and then eventually New Zealanders get him down on the fourth tackle.
Interesting to see how Australia there on their first real attack. You notice that Darren Lockyer was not standing deep like he normally does. He was very flat on that first receiver.
This is the last tackle here for Australia. That's Cameron Smith. This is Thurston. Here is Lockyer. That's Billy Slater. He bounces away from one, hacks the ball forward. Picked up though by Sam Perrott in defence.
Just shows you what pressure can do, and the Kiwis will be happy that they have just got on top of Billy Slater. That's what you got to do to get into his face, even though he got away. That pressure, it didn't come about because it was a poor kick in the end. Good work by Jeremy Smith.
And Ashley Klein has given New Zealand their second penalty. 0-0 here, nearly 7 minutes gone. Great start for the Kiwis. Oh, what have I said? What have I said? What an error. And here is Joel Monaghan.
Went for far too much length, didn't he? You've got to make sure, especially in the early part of a World Cup final, nerves are tingling, pressure is on everybody.
This is Inglis.
And it has shown on that occasion.
Greg Inglis wearing 3, playing in the centres for his country, named as the International Standoff of the Year this week. Incredible, isn't it? Smith to Lockyer. Here is Thurston, switch in the direction of the attack. Slater, collared by Bronson Harrison. Plays the ball quickly though. Last tackle here for Australia. 22 metres away. There's a host of them down this left-hand side. Thurston is caught in defence. That's great defence from the Kiwis. Nathan Feen leading the way. He arguably has been their player of this series, Nathan Feen.
Well, that's amazing that Ricky Stewart, the Australian coach, would have gone for something like that. A power play on that short blind side. Perhaps thought that New Zealand defence in that tight area has not been all that good through the World Cup, but it was on that occasion. Why did they not opt for the kick?
Because I don't think he'll ever discourage Thurston from taking on the line. It's possibly why he is the world's best number 7. He continually runs at defenders and challenges them. And early in this game, he's been tackled. But as it wears on, remember the Tri-Nations final that they won in extra time? Who made the break? Jonathan Thurston.
There might be a problem here for Anthony LaFranchi. They have just featured him on the pictures here, and he's just standing behind the defensive line as that kick comes in, and that's a great kick, but I think it will skip its way dead. Yes, it will eventually. I have to tell you that on Thursday night, when the latest of a series of electronic storms broke over the city of Brisbane, this ground was under no less than 12 inches of water. But it has dried out, and the drainage is such that we have the perfect surface to play on here tonight. The storms, Steve-O, in this part of the world, they've been unbelievable.
Yeah, very close to a cyclone, in fact, and sadly over $150 million worth of damage in this local area and just south of Brisbane. So much so that they've actually set out a relief fund. They've done marvels to this pitch to get it ready.
Quick hands, as you always expect from Australia, but good defence. But there's the strength of Israel Folau. We can't get away from those two. It was Ropati and Vatuvai. Now, Lockyer.
Australia seem to have lost their shape slightly. That's the third occasion, yet again, we've seen it. Australia throughout this World Cup have controlled the game with Darren Lockyer standing at least 20 metres back. And there you see him very short in the line.
That's a high kick. Green and Golds are after this. Lanso higher though, pouches it. I was talking, Phil, to New Zealand great Daryl Halligan before this match started, and he said the fact that Brent Tate is not in the Australian side, that's where he believes they're very dangerous, Australia, because Tate begins a lot of the moves from dummy half. He's not here.
Add to that as well, Stephen Price has been exceptional for the Kangaroos in this tournament, and I think New Zealand have a chance. I said it before this game. They also have a chance because 10 minutes into the match, the possession is 60-40 in their favour, and they're actually almost spending most of the time in the opposition half. Those two basic principles will delight Stephen Kearney at this stage.
Who's ringing round the ground there as Wayne Bennett was flashed up on the big screen. Of course, Wayne Bennett, a true legend of the game in this part of the world, a member of the Kiwi backroom staff. He was the Australian coach on the night of the 2005 Tri-Nations final, when Australia became the first team that year to lose an international series for 30 years. Wayne Bennett at the helm. He's a great internationalist though, and he has swapped sides for this tournament, and he is assisting Stephen Kearney in their run to this World Cup final. And they are very much in this final, believe me, after 11 and a quarter minutes. It's 0-0. Australia though in possession with Thurston, and he gets the ball away and finds Glenn Stewart. Stewart then finds Slater. Here's the danger. Slater's got Lockyer. Slater for the corner. Slater flicks the ball in. It's Lockyer, and the captain on his 50th appearance for his country. Darren Lockyer scores the try for Australia, which brings this stadium to its feet. It's his first of this World Cup series, and what a time to break your duck in 2008. It was Slater who created it. It was Darren Lockyer who scored it, and just as he scored the golden point in 2006, Lockyer does it again.
Is this the best player in the world? Don't argue with me, because he is. That was nothing short of sensational. They had the opportunity there, that just couldn't get it. Vatavai just got a fingertip as Slater offloaded on the inside, and Darren Lockyer, what a captain's knock. But what about the quality, the skill? Absolutely sensational there from the fullback, Billy Slater. Even the all-time greats from Australia from years gone by, they just shake their heads and they say, this kid is sensational, and we have just seen the reason why. Brilliant.
50th cap, as I say, captain tonight. And earlier this season he had a knee reconstruction, and some felt his career was over. And significantly, Darren Lockyer was absent in 2005 when Australia lost that Tri-Nations final. They talk about Wally Lewis in this part of the world. You have to bracket Darren Lockyer in exactly the same breath. The king is dead, long live the king.
Well, at least he's the prince, isn't he? That's for sure.
Thurston to try and kick the first goal of this World Cup final. And he pushes it in front of the posts. But he got his first 3 international tries in 9 minutes last week against Fiji. He's missed with his first kick here, but Lockyer's on the field, and fantastic.
It was interesting listening to Billy Slater as he walked back, what he said. He was telling his teammates, stay close to the footy. He meant stay close to the ball. If he puts himself as a fullback close with the ball, he presents those opportunities for himself and his teammates.
Slater underneath the kick-off. Here come the Australians again, this time with Brent Kite.
It'll be big relief for the Australian coach, Ricky Stewart, because he knew that New Zealand were getting right into their faces. They were stopping them creating any gaps whatsoever, but it took a piece of magic, and that's what it was from Billy Slater to create that try.
Well, they played New Zealand in Brisbane 23 times at the Green and Golds. They have won on 18 occasions. It's a pretty dominant record, but there again, it's a dominant record that they have against everybody. And Ricky Stewart, they say, although they only issue 12-month contracts to their national coaches in this part of the world, that Ricky Stewart, if he wants the job, he can have it for as long as he likes. They know that club coaching positions and attitudes at clubs can change year by year. But Ricky Stewart, if he wants it, it's his for as long as he likes.
And I think he'll accept it as well, because he has really shown some talent. He allows his players to express themselves, as we have seen throughout this World Cup. But they are a very tight-knit unit. They really look as though they enjoy their rugby league football. We've seen them, Eddie, several times throughout this competition, off the field of play. They're always very smart in their blazers and their ties. They have a smile on their face, and boy, they have a big smile on their face when they play rugby league as well.
Kick down the line finds the touch, and so New Zealand will have the put in at this, Australia will have the put in at this scrum, and as you can see, the players of both sides are in no great hurry to form the scrum.
The humidity is so high tonight, and it is affecting. In an air-conditioned commentary box, it's really sweaty out there.
This now is Israel Folau, 19 years of age. What a talent, what a future. Smith gets the ball away. Paul Gallen, who has recovered from a dead leg to play in this final. He was under threat all week. Now it's Brent Kite again. Stephen Price, cruelly injured yesterday, misses out on this World Cup final. But his son, Riley Price, was one of the many mascots tonight. And he's watching here as Williams hurls down the line. They're not going to stop him. Oh, David Williams! What a try from him! He's only playing in his second international. He only made his NRL debut here in May. He scored 3 tries in Townsville against Papua New Guinea a couple of weeks ago. And did you see the speed then? David Williams all down the line, a scorcher! The Wolfman! 10-0 Australia.
Superb pass. They caught the winger just slightly off the touchline. There he is lurking on the outside. Watch Slater pick him out. Vatuvei had moved in just half a metre. That's all it needed. He was never ever going to stop. Look at the excitement on his face. Slater's superb blindside move. They caught Manu Vatuvei napping on that left-hand wing, and he knows it.
I said, Steve-O, it was 10-0. I'm just preempting the kick from Thurston, which is bang in front. It's as good as 10-0.
For once I'll agree, Eddie, but the speed of this man. When one drops out in an Australian squad, they just pluck out another.
Well, as I say, only made his debut here in the NRL. That was in Brisbane in May. The winger from Manly. 20 appearances, 20 consecutive appearances since in the NRL. 14 tries and a hat-trick on his Test debut 2 weeks ago. Add that to a try in a World Cup final. It's improved by Thurston. It's Australia 10. It's New Zealand 0. The good start from New Zealand's evaporating.
If you look at that set of possession from the scrum, Australia easily made it up to the halfway line. New Zealand only able to get 2 men into the tackle, look, and even then they're falling off them. So the speed of the play of the ball means Australia on the front foot, advancing forward, but you've got to admire the vision and the skill of the executed pass was superb. Great start there, second test in the World Cup, and he comes round to make the kick a little easier. Nice to see a player having fun.
You're watching that. We just watched as the New Zealanders have kicked the ball out of play from the kickoff, exactly what England did, remember, against New Zealand this time last week. It's a penalty to the Australians on halfway, and you know, when you go back to thinking what happened when that try from New Zealand was chalked off.
Add to that, Eddie, they've failed to find touch with the penalty in New Zealand as well.
Yes.
So, you know, they're not in the opening quarter, a little bit of rugby league suicide going on.
Well, the one thing you cannot do against Australia, England did it against New Zealand, was come up with so many errors. And that was shocking.
Well, look where they are on the first tackle, Australia. They're 10 metres away from the line. This is Smith. Here is Sivanasiva, and he will drive it forward. Petro Sivanasiva. This is a real problem for New Zealand right now, as Paul Gallen thought about the pass, then decided to take the tackle himself. Oh, then he releases it. Bounces off Lockyer, goes backwards. Here is Thurston. Thurston teasing the line. Down he goes.
Early in this game, New Zealand was getting into the defence, and I'm afraid they're hanging back now, and they're going to pay the price.
Israel Folau is just held up. Held up over the line, says Ashley Clyde. And they bring it back to the 10-metre line, and the tackle count will resume.
Just shows you get blitzed by 2 tries created by one man, Billy Slater, both of them, and hesitation is now set into the New Zealand defence. They've got to shirk it out of it.
Thurston pops the ball up. Here they come again. That is Brent Kite. He played for Tonga in the World Cup 8 years ago. Dab to the in-goal earlier. It's Lockyer again. The referee hasn't given it yet. It's another decision for Steve Ganson. But Darren Lockyer believes he's come up with his second try of the night, his second try of this World Cup tournament. There didn't seem too much wrong with it. The only thing is, I suppose, was Lockyer onside, offside. The grounding looked okay even from up here. Well, he's a mile onside.
No problem about it. Cameron Smith knew exactly where the skipper was going to be. I mentioned the fact that the hesitation in the Kiwis' defence, it's just gone right the way across the full team. And Australia taking full advantage. No problem with the grounding. Oh, now then, he's lost it. He has lost it. There's daylight there. That's a knock on. It's no try. Isn't it amazing what a video can do? This will be wiped off. Steve Ganson. And I think Darren Lockyer is fully aware of it. It just bobbled. This will be NOTRY. It's got to be. With the greatest respect to Steve Ganson, over the years, he's got to get this one right.
Well, it's pending. I think we all know what the decision is. And it is no try. It's a knock-on over the line by Darren Lockyer. The man is human, and well done, Ashley Klein. He must have had a little glimpse and thought that maybe there was something a bit shaky about that, and he's been proved right. So New Zealand still in the game at 10-0. 20 minutes gone in the World Cup final.
He's spot on in regards to Ashley Klein. He has been the form referee of this competition.
But at least we got something that's best in the world, the referees.
Oh, I think you can safely say that we've got the best supporters as well. Over 5,000 have trailed here to Australia for this World Cup.
And they're probably all just about here to a man, even though I understand that back home certain newspapers were saying that the 5,000 Poms would be boycotting this final. I don't know where on earth they got that idea from.
Well, neither do I, and most of them are from the north of England, and if they've got a ticket, they'll be here.
It is a good kick. It is a great kick, because Monaghan had to pick that up out of the air as Simon Mannering was hunting him down. He's taken that ball over the dead ball line. He looks a bit perplexed, but Ashley Klein, his touch judge, has got this absolutely right.
Yep. Spot on. Drop out. Now this is where Stephen Kearney has to get the message out. Okay, 2 tries we've allowed in. We've got to make sure we camp down, put the pressure on Australia, and they've got to sort this defence out very quickly. A little bit shell-shocked at the moment.
Benji Marshall, after that early incision from him down the left-hand side, has gone very quiet.
Well, to be fair, they haven't had much possession. Remember, Phil mentioned the mistake of not kicking out from the penalty.
Interesting hairstyle from Sam Rakira. Look at that. All that hair, Steve-O, and look what he does with it. This is Isaac Luke. Gets it to Marshall. Marshall short ball, and that's Falongo.
It's obvious, Eddie, that New Zealand think the way through the Australian defensive line is to run at Darren Lockyer, but he's been up to the challenge so far. They keep it alive here now, late in the count.
And a dab to the in-goal area from Nathan Fino! And Monaghan to the rescue again.
He knew he was caught out of position, and how on earth did he get the balance back up so he could have a second shot at it?
Well, the Australians are claiming that it was Sam Perrott, actually, who got the hand to this first. Coming up here, they believe he got above them. Well, I
think he did.
I think it was Monaghan. It was certainly Monaghan then.
We'll just try to find out as to...
Oh, he missed it.
No, I think he missed it.
He's like Matt Calderwood last week. He needed it to bounce for him, didn't he, when Calderwood had the chance near the line. The pitch, a very hard one, as you mentioned. It was watered before the game, in fact.
Good play, though, by Joel Monaghan. It's amazing how they've got the fitness to get themselves back.
It is a goal line dropout. Lockyer will hump it downfield again. He'll get it to halfway. Back they come. Well, if New Zealand could get over the line now, what a final we'd have. Isaac Luke. Hugely impressive tournament from the New Zealand substitute.
Don't write this Kiwi side off, but they've got to start making headway through, trying to get over the advantage line. They're struggling to do that.
There are 3 men in almost every tackle that they make, Eddie, and that's why they control that ruck speed.
Here's Nathan Feed, short ball, and on the charge came Bronson Harrison.
It's nice to do that short pass, but they're not utilising dummy runners.
That's a great run, that's a great run, that's a great try from Jeremy Smith. Jeremy Smith puts the Kiwis back in contention. A barnstorming run. They were just caught cold in defence for a moment, the Kangaroos, and Jeremy Smith, the man from the Melbourne Storm, only his 4th Only the fourth try, rather, that the Kangaroos have conceded.
Oh, excitement in the box, and rightly so. Stephen Kearney and Wayne Bennett, they'll be happy with that. Ricky Stewart will be perplexed over the fact that the Aussie defence just folded. We said up to that point that they were struggling, the Kiwis, to get over the advantage line, but not on this occasion. Fantastic run by the loose forward, Jeremy Smith.
It was the third set of possession, wasn't it? They started with a tap on the 20. They then had 2 goal line dropouts and some life or death runs from one or two of the players. Vatu Vayedi charging it forward. I think they realised the only way through the defence is to run like you mean it, and they're certainly doing that right now.
10-6, Isaac Luke's conversion, Jeremy Smith's try. We have a match on our hands again.
It certainly needed something special, and that was exceptional. Craig Fitzgibbon went far too high, and Smith just brushed him away. No one went for the legs, and when they did, this is what it meant to the coaching staff. They're back in it.
Very much back in it. What a towering kick-off, though. And underneath his own posts, Lance O'Hire comes up with a blunder. It was a massive, towering kick. Took an age to get down.
He misjudged where it was actually going to come down. I think that's what one of his problems arose, wasn't it? He had to back off late.
Well, he was shaky under the high kicks last week against England, but we never tested him.
He certainly was, and to be fair, you see how the arms were coming down rather than going up and embracing it into his chest. Simple basics went wrong.
So here's Sivanasiva for Australia. The black and white chasers, though, have arrived. They begin this set of 6, 30 metres away. And that is, once again, Glenn Stewart. World Cup final glory he is hunting on the back of the grand final success with Manly this year. Now Fitzgibbon. Cameron Smith from dummy half, good run, punishing run from Smith. That's the fourth. Greg Eastwood was first to him there. Thurston and Lockyer. Oh,
what a hit! He was looking for the close offload, and he was out wide rather than close to him.
Great work from Farlongo. Here's the high kick now from Thurston. Oh, picked up. Palm back inside. Now then, who did that come off? Here's another decision for Ashley Klein, and he says it came off an Australian hand, Israel Folau, and so it's a restart in Kiwi hands.
It was a super kick, wasn't it? Rapati never even contested.
That's been a feature of this World Cup, hasn't it? The way that the Australians leap and collect the ball in mid-air.
Had the opportunity, David Williams there, very close to it. Well, a big let-off for the Kiwis after Lance O'Hire made a real meal of the kick-off. The chant from the stands of Kiwis, trying to get behind their side. That's good hard work, good solid work from the forwards.
That was Sam Rapira. Here they come. New Zealand again with Benji Marshall. Oh, he went without it. Oh, was it stripped? The referees allowed them to go on. And they're going to go over for the line here through Ropati. And I think referee Ashley Klein will take a look to see how this ball came free. Because he was right there, and there's obviously a doubt in his mind that an Australian hand knocked that backwards. So he allowed them to play on. Great referee from Ashley Klein. Allowed them to play on. They've got over the line from Rapati, and now we'll use the technology and find out what went wrong here.
What about the shimmy from Marshall? I think it is reefed, but is it just the arm that's been dragged back?
It was an attack on the ball, it wasn't on the arm. The man in question is Lafranchi.
I think you're right. Lafranchi has got the fingertips to it, and Falongo said, I play to the whistle, and so does Mr. Rapati. Boy, this could see the Kiwis take the lead. Definitely a hand in there from Lafranchi. He's stripped it. He's stripped it. This try will be given surely by Steve Ganson.
Well, he's looking at the grounding, so it looks like it will be. Was it a loose carry, or was it knocked out by the Australian defender? Here's the grounding again. Nothing wrong with that. When they go for the grounding, generally they say try.
I'm with you, Eddie. Boy, they'll be stunned here. The majority of the crowd here in Australian green and gold but it's black and white with a chance to take the lead.
Just listen to the reaction if this is a try. Well, they're not complaining. Stephen Kearney and Wayne Bennett, and neither of the New Zealanders. They're 10 apiece. Kick from Isaac Luke to come, and after trailing 10-0, New Zealand have got the opportunity here of snatching the lead. Jerome Ropati.
Funny old game.
Eddie, some of the Kiwi players are running with a passion that they exhibit in that haka before the game, and that's the reason why Australia are starting to struggle a little bit. You saw Benji Marshall got the ball from a quick play of the ball. Australia weren't in his face, and New Zealand look dangerous, don't they? They can maintain that sort of aggressive ball carrying ability.
And Ropati adds the extras. Australia 10, New Zealand 12, and for the first time in this World Cup, Australia are behind.
Beautiful shimmy. Nobody going for the legs until it was too late. Lafranchi stripped it out. Super stuff. Malongo kept his calm. It was cool, it was collected. They've made sure of this kick-off on this occasion. Boy, this is going to boil over. Australia have to be careful not to give away a silly penalty, and that could be, and they've given that silly penalty.
12-10 to New Zealand.
It's amazing what pressure can do. Odds on favourites. Long way to go though, with all the quality that's through this Australian camp. But will they panic? They panicked on that occasion.
3-1 the penalty count, and the one that Australia got, of course, was from the kick out on the full. Here is Greg Eastwood, Leeds bound. You know, there are 5,000 Poms inside this ground, a few more here in the commentary box, and millions more at home.
That was high.
Can't believe what they're seeing, and here's the fourth penalty. High shot.
They're losing the cool. The favourite. Well, he got out of the trap early, he was leading.
You're going to take something special to stop Vatabai, though, on the inside run that he came.
Well, to be
Kite
fair,
and Lafranchi are too high.
I'm just going to say, Frank Kite, he probably was thinking, well, I didn't finish up into the neck or the chin area. Either way, the Kiwis are raging for the try line.
With Sam Rapira, who's made such a difference since he's come on. So has Isaac Luke. Here is Benji Marshall. Oh, he's lost it. What an error on the first tackle.
What a tackle, you could say, Eddie. Great work from Fitzgibbon to get up quickly, put him under pressure, and hit up under the ball.
Fitzgibbon making up for that error earlier when he missed the tackle on Jeremy Smith.
Great hit from Craig Fitzgibbon. He was in that side, beaten in the 2005 Tri Nations final, and he doesn't want history to repeat itself here, he says. Here goes Greg Inglis.
This is where the guile of the coach, Ricky Stewart, will have sent the message out. They're susceptible out wide, don't bother trying to just get up. Let's swing it out to the quality of centres, Inglis and Folau.
Smith to Fitzgibbon. Now New Zealand are caught offside. Too quick out of the blocks. Might be interesting for viewers to look back home. Remember what we had in the Super League this year: 2 feet behind the referee, 2 feet behind the try line. It doesn't exist in this tournament. But the referee, Ashley Klein, spotting an infringement there for offside. Penalty given. Australia here in possession. Cameron Smith, Jonathan Thurston, Fitzgibbon will drive it forward again, gets Australia to the 20-metre line. Smith wants a quick play of the ball. Here he is, now Thurston. Short pass, big hit, but great running there from Anthony Tupu.
Good tackling there from Farlongo.
Now this is danger for the Kiwis. Thurston, 10 metres away. Good on his feet. Eventually he's brought to ground.
This is where Darren Lockyer comes in with the attention there. He has the football.
And he gets the ball into Stewart, but he is grounded. That's the last one for Australia. They're close. Thurston Pumps it wide. Brilliantly, almost brilliantly picked up by Israel Folau, losing it as he landed.
Well, he's such a tall fella, isn't he?
Just look the way they sail and look the way they try and catch the ball every time, above head height.
He tried desperately to hang on to it.
Israel Folau, of course, from Melbourne, which is the heart of AFL country, isn't it?
Well, they certainly know everything about the Aussie rule style. And he's got such height, hasn't he? Not surprisingly, Thurston trying to take full advantage of it. Just couldn't get hold of it. This will be safety first now by the Kiwis.
That's Perrott, brought down. Here is Isaac Luke.
What a sensational substitute to throw on there. Stephen Kearney knows the quality of this fella, Isaac Luke.
Kick has to be good here. He was under pressure from Cameron Smith. It's not the best. It's straight into the arms of Billy Slater.
Poor
Slater
kick.
ferries it wide to Williams. Williams struggling to get to his feet, plays it to Slater. Here comes Folau again. This time, Rapira and Eastwood are the players involved to bring him down. Fitzgibbon now for Australia. 6.5 minutes to half time. 12-10 New Zealand. Thurston. Now Stewart. Great hands. This is Kite. Keeps it alive. Inglis over the top. Lafranchi. Wide Folau. Williams. Trouble here. Every time Williams gets the ball, there looks danger on that flank. They deal with the threat this time. 4 tackles gone. Lockyer. Thurston. Runner is Kite. Oh, great hands. Lockyer. Thurston. Brilliant. Here's the substitute. It's Watmough. It's Lockyer. It's a fantastic try. It's an absolutely amazing try in the World Cup final from Darren Lockyer. Sensational from start to finish. 50 caps, 2 tries in a World Cup final, 1 chalked off rightly by the video referee. Darren Lockyer is stamping his name all across this tournament tonight.
Outstanding. Back on the inside, Brent Kite has been a tower of strength out there. But good work by Watmough, and then the inside support from who else? Darren Lockyer. The man who can change a game. But this was absolutely superb running. Come back on the angle. They held off. Come and get me. And that's exactly what they did. Watmough lifts the arm and the finger points as Lockyer dives over. They're back and they've taken the lead yet again.
He's now scored 35 tries for his country in those 50 internationals. I mentioned Wally Lewis. There's another little fellow out there on the field as well. Alan Langer, 2 Queensland legends, add a third in the shape of Darren Lockyer. And Thurston to add the extras. Balance is restored, 16-12 to the world champions. That's Stephen Price on the back row there. He would love to be out there. But wow, that try, Steve-O, it was worth coming 12,000 miles to see.
Sensational. And the ability of this fella, Brent Kite. Look for it. Look at the offload, but look at the step there. That's what created the try. He could see the sliding defence from the Kiwis. And Anthony Watmough has created a wonderful try.
Inglis with such strength, he rides 2 tackles. Goes down on the 3rd, halted by the tackle from Sika Manu.
Look at him get away with it, Manu. It looked like a throttle tackle.
Fitzgibbon, down he goes. That's
What about the old timer, Craig Fitzgibbon? Okay, he made 1 error, missed a tackle, but he's just worked overtime. A bit high there from Nathan Feen as well. Kiwi defence getting a little bit scrappy.
Anthony Watmough, who played the ball there, he was voted the players' man of the match in his debut against PNG in Townsville. Here they come again with Folau. Spins out of 1 challenge, looks for support, it's there from Thurston. and Thurston is able to stand, and here comes Lockyer. Oh, and Lockyer nearly lost it. He wants to get on with it quickly. He's looking for the penalty. It's not coming from Ashley Klein.
Good refereeing as well. Tried to calm the official.
Thurston under pressure. Hoists the high kick again. Out on the full. Manu Vatuvei, cool as a cucumber, allowed that one to bounce over the sideline.
Ricky Stewart obviously feels that Manu Vatuvei is a weak link. They've been peppering him all night. So far they've got away with it, apart from the fact that Vatuvei really got caught in out of position when David Williams raced away 60 metres for a superb try.
You know, without playing to their full potential, New Zealand have done really well in this half. 4 points behind Eddie, they can stay at that point. The last time Australia lost a test match, they were under pressure at half-time. It was Great Britain in Sydney, 6-all at the time. New Zealand can go in feeling pretty good about themselves if they can maintain just a 4-point deficit. But Australia have a canny knack of lifting here now in the next 2 minutes.
Nobody has as yet in the history of this World Cup competition ever scored a hat-trick in the final. Darren Lockyer has come as close as anyone. He's got two, and one has been chalked off by the video referee. This is the last tackle here for New Zealand.
Great work there by Cameron Smith. He does work overtime. Not just his quality when he's got the ball in hand.
Here's Billy Slater. The Kiwis hunt him down.
Kick and chase has been okay by the Kiwis as well. It's only been the little errors and mistakes in the defensive lineup from New Zealand when they have Australia deep in their own half, but the power and strength and the skill factor from the Aussies is outstanding.
Look at Monaghan here, and the previous run was from David Williams. You have to admire the sheer physical strength of their back line, don't you? They're as tough as teak, they're as tough as the forwards, and here's one of them, Cameron Smith, one of those forwards. That's the fourth tackle. He'll play the ball here. There's Monaghan. Here now is Tupu.
What a hit! Oh, Rapira nearly took his head off.
But he still hung on to the ball. What? That was Thurston under pressure. It's a high kick. Well, dealt with by Sam Perrott. Yes, it was. And here is Ohio. And Lance Ohio begins the counter.
Good job that Thurston was in the sweeping role there. One thing about Ricky Stewart as a coach, you know, he's tremendous. Okay, it was a great high kick, and they had most of the Australians going forward, but he realises if there's a semi-break, he leaves Thurston back as a sweeper. Tremendous coach.
Last 5 seconds of this first half. Australia with their noses in front, but only just. We expected a classic, and the players are producing. It has been a truly memorable first half